Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered how we went from dreaming of flight to soaring across oceans in just a few hours? The story of aviation is one of humanity's greatest adventures, a tale of dreamers, daredevils, and relentless innovation. Our journey begins not in a hangar, but in the notebooks of a 15th century genius. Inspired by the graceful mastery of birds, Leonardo da Vinci penned visionary sketches of ornithopters, machines designed to conquer the skies. These designs, with their flapping wings, were centuries ahead of their time, capturing the very essence of our desire to conquer the skies. But the first to actually break our bond with the earth were the Montgolfier brothers. In 1783, they filled a giant paper and fabric bag with hot air and watched in amazement as it lifted two brave men into the sky over Paris. It was the first untethered manned flight in history, a monumental, albeit wobbly, first step. The true breakthrough, however, was still over a century away. On a cold, windy day, December 17, 1903, two brothers from Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright, made history on the sandy dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Their creation, the Wright Flyer, wasn't just a glider. It was the world's first powered, controlled, and sustained heavier-than-air aircraft. That first flight lasted only 12 seconds and covered just 120 feet, less than the wingspan of a modern jumbo jet. But in those 12 seconds, the world changed forever. Humanity had finally earned its wings. Just a decade later, the fragile wood and fabric planes of the Wright era were thrust into the crucible of World War I. Initially, they were used as eyes in the sky, simple reconnaissance tools to spy on enemy lines. But it didn't take long for pilots to start taking potshots at each other with pistols and rifles. This quickly escalated. Soon, machine guns were mounted, synchronized to fire through the spinning propellers, and the era of the dogfight was born. Skies that were once empty became a deadly chessboard. Pilots became knights of the air, and legendary figures emerged, like Germany's Manfred von Richthofen, the infamous Red Baron who became a symbol of aerial combat with his 80 confirmed victories. The war acted as a brutal but powerful accelerator of technology. Fragile wooden frames were replaced with more durable metal structures, and engines became more powerful and reliable. What started as a tool for observation had transformed into a decisive weapon of war, setting the stage for the next great leap in aviation. When the guns of the Great War fell silent, a new, exciting chapter began. The Golden Age of Aviation. The period between the wars was defined by heroic individuals who pushed the boundaries of what was possible. In 1927, a young American male pilot named Charles Lindbergh captured the world's imagination, flying solo in his tiny, single-engine plane, the Spirit of St. Louis. He made the first non-stop transatlantic flight from New York to Paris, 433.5 grueling hours. He navigated by the stars, battling fatigue and ice, to become an international hero overnight. Lindbergh wasn't the only trailblazer. The incredible Amelia Earhart shattered records and stereotypes. She became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic and set numerous distance and speed records, proving that the cockpit was a place for anyone with skill and courage. Her adventurous spirit inspired a generation. This era wasn't just about daredevils. It was also the birth of commercial air travel as we know it. The game changer was the Douglas DC-3. Introduced in the mid-1930s, it was a revolutionary aircraft, safe, reliable, and large enough to carry 21 passengers. For the first time, airlines could actually make a profit just by flying people, not relying on mail contracts. The DC-3 made air travel accessible and popular, laying the foundation for the global network of airlines we have today. But the peace of the Golden Age was short-lived. World War II ignited a technological arms race that would again reshape aviation at an astonishing speed. The skies over Europe became a critical battleground. During the Battle of Britain, the Royal Air Force's nimble Spitfires and rugged Hurricanes famously dueled with the German Luftwaffe, their pilots' bravery in the air saving the island from invasion. Aircraft became faster, stronger, and more specialized, with massive bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress and agile fighters like the P-51 Mustang dominating the skies. But the most revolutionary development of the war was the harnessing of a completely new kind of power. German engineers secretly developed the Messerschmitt Me 262, the world's first operational jet-powered fighter. When Allied pilots first encountered this futuristic aircraft, which flew nearly 100 miles per hour faster than their best fighters, they were stunned. It was a terrifying glimpse into the future of air combat. Alongside jet power, another invisible technology emerged: radar. Both on the ground and in the air, radar gave forces the ability to see enemies from miles away, through darkness and clouds, changing navigation and combat forever. With the end of the war, the world entered the Cold War, and the jet age truly began. The next great barrier to conquer was the speed of sound. On October 14th, 1947, U.S. Air Force Captain Chuck Yeager, flying a rocket-powered plane called the Bell X-1, which he nicknamed Glamorous Glennis, did the impossible. He pushed his aircraft past Mach 1, creating the first sonic boom and officially breaking the sound barrier. The supersonic era had arrived, and with it, a new generation of sleek, powerful military jets. While military aviation pushed the limits of speed, civilian travel was about to get a whole lot bigger. In 1969, Boeing unveiled the 747, the original jumbo jet. With its iconic hump and ability to carry over 400 passengers, the Queen of the Skies dramatically lowered the cost of long-haul flights. Suddenly, international travel wasn't just for the wealthy. It was for the masses. Families could now afford to fly across continents for vacations, connecting the world like never before. And for a select few, travel got even faster. The Concordia joint British and French project was a masterpiece of engineering, a supersonic passenger jet that could fly at twice the speed of sound. A trip from London to New York, which used to take 8 hours, could now be done in under 3.5. Passengers could leave London after breakfast and arrive in New York before breakfast was even served. The Concorde was a beautiful, powerful symbol of technological ambition. Today, we live in the modern era of flight, defined by incredible efficiency, intelligence, and stealth. The pilots of today's advanced aircraft don't pull on cables and pulleys. They use fly-by-wire systems, where computers translate their inputs into precise movements. Planes like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner are built not primarily from aluminum, but from lightweight, ultra-strong composite materials, making them incredibly fuel-efficient. In the military sphere, stealth technology, pioneered by aircraft like the F-117 Nighthawk, and now perfected in fighters like the F-35, allows planes to become nearly invisible to radar. And increasingly, the pilot isn't even in the cockpit. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, have transformed from military reconnaissance tools to essential commercial assets, used for everything from delivering packages and surveying crops to creating spectacular film shots. So, what's next? The future of aviation is focused on one of the biggest challenges of our time: sustainability. Engineers around the world are developing electric planes for short-haul flights, experimenting with clean-burning hydrogen fuel for longer journeys, and designing more efficient engines and airframes to drastically reduce aviation's carbon footprint. The dream of flight that began with Leonardo's paper sketches continues to evolve, from flapping wings to fighter jets, and now towards a cleaner, greener sky. The epic human journey to master the air is far from over. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of flight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories of human ingenuity. See you in the next one.